rolling, and I'd like to bring up to the stage a very funny woman, and here she comes. Everyone, let's welcome Helene Witt. Did I say that right? Okay.
Thank you. Wow, thank you. Let's hear it for our MC. I don't know her name either. Wow, there's nothing like spending the evening with your friends that you work with and hearing about their sex life. Let me tell you. I didn't know this is what I signed on for when I was in traffic for 3.5 hours from Queens. But coming to New Jersey is really exciting for a New Yorker, but going home is better because you see that sign on your way home over the George Washington Bridge to New York. It says, Guido Eats It, welcome to New York. You feel right at home. There's a town in New Jersey that is very sentimental to me because I used to be married many years ago, and my husband had a really wild, I'll never forget that night in Clifton, New Jersey. Trouble is, my husband had a wild night in Clifton, New Jersey, but I was not there. Thus, I'm divorced now. But I'll tell you more about that. First, I'll tell you, you talked about teaching, and John, you're a substitute teacher, and your kids go to school. I used to be a teacher in New York City. It was a really tough school. Really tough school. Thanks for asking, Johnny Carson. You walk in the building and you see the school colors, black and blue. Dried blood red, black and blue. Teacher, how do you tell time? That's easy. How long did you have me locked in the closet yesterday? You heard of carving your sweetheart's name in the desk when they had desks instead of Formica? These kids carved their sweetheart's name in their sweetheart. Really tough. They don't just chew their pencils, they swallow the erasers. Very tough. And you know, in New York City, everything is called a teachable moment, no matter what happens in the classroom. So Johnny was strangling Jimmy to death, and he goes, "He choked me, terrible!" I said, "Stop, you're using your adverbs incorrectly. He choked you terribly." And then I was teaching measurement. They don't give you any supplies in my school. I don't know how it is for your kids. But I had to buy everything or bring it from home. So I was teaching measurement, and I brought in 3 scales: my bathroom scale, my Weight Watcher scale, and my cocaine scale. I'm only kidding in that. Don't tell everyone at work. I never went to Weight Watchers. But that scale they have has a great plastic container for a banana split. The 2nd grade girls in my school had a gang. It's kind of sad. But they used to take the milk containers off of my girls' lunch trays. That was the initiation. So I named them the Half Pints. And the leader of the gang was called the Dairy Queen. And famous people went to my school. It's called PS 140 Queens. It's a real school. That's why I gave you the name. You can Google it. The Duke Ellington School. Famous people went to my school. One was a newscaster from Fox 5, Carol Jenkins, and 2 were athletes. And then the ATM Bandit went to my school. Very proud of that. So I'm getting older. In fact, some of you are looking at me going, "Is that the love child of Barbara Streisand and Barry Manilow?" I'm not, but I'm getting older, and I can't be their love child because I'm their age, and I'm retired from teaching. But, you know, I try to be positive. You talked about being 60 and saying you're 60, so people say, "Wow, I'm older than that." It's great. You know why? Because you girls complain about going through the change, and before that, you young girls, like Randy, you say, like, "Oh, I got the cramps, the PMS," right? You know what I say about all that? Menstruation, menopause, those were the good old days. I got none of that. In fact, the cuckoo on my biological clock is wearing Depends. I'm past the information age and I'm headed to the inflammation age. If they had these bags in the Rockaways during Hurricane Sandy, the F train never would have stopped working. Well, I had tried to have a positive attitude. Did I already? I forgot if I said this joke about woo. You lose your memory when you get past the when that stuff isn't flowing anymore. You just lose your memory. No, I didn't tell the joke yet. But I'm losing my hair. You talked about all that other stuff where it grows and it stops growing, like under your arms and on your legs, right? And well, I don't know about your age, and that I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, I have something new. I'm losing my hair. You can't tell, but I know where it's going. It's going to my knuckles. And I don't have varicose veins because I changed the name. I call the varicose veins the Google map to adventure. This road takes you to the Sterling Forest.
Oh, you came unscrewed there.
This road takes you to the Sterling Forest, and Randy, I know you're young and you have that Brazilian and all. I got the Sterling Forest there. And this road takes you to the Dead Sea. So I have a minute left. I'll just tell you, I've been married a couple of times, so I don't have a minute. That's it. Okay, so I've been married a few times. So I was married to a Jewish guy first, and then I was married to a Chinese guy. So people say, what's the difference? I said, there's no difference. They're both cheap sons of a bitches that drive terribly. Thank you very much.
All right.
Elaine Witt, everyone. Funny. Alrighty. Oh, fun. All right, I'm just going to keep this ball rolling, this show rolling, and bring up to the stage a very funny lady and a very, very dear friend of mine, Kim Johnny.
Renee, you don't want to make out with me, you just want to make out with Candace, you bitch. I feel like I know you guys. You know what? Marriage, hair, English major. I'm a teacher, and we just went back to school. Today was the first day with the kids. Yay, no applause for that, okay, whatever. We had to watch her in service. We had to watch the history of, I really shouldn't say the town, but some of you might know. Very close by. The history of the public schools, blank public schools. I'm gonna tell you. Okay. Built in 1750, was the first house. And then every single school from that point on, the last one that was built, it was 1952. You know what that tells me about the town, Ronnie, in which I teach in? We have old friggin' buildings. We need new buildings. That's what it says. And but I have to tell you, my building was built in 1929. 1920. The same floor from your son, your